Hey, what's up, everyone? Today we're going to be talking about the factions of Last Epoch. And in particular, I'm going to be giving my opinion what is the best faction for Cycle 1 of Last Epoch, some of the good things about each of the factions, some of the bad things about each of the factions, and some of the quirks I've also seen. But before we do that, I just wanted to show a commonly asked question around how leaving and joining factions work. So first of all, I'm going to demonstrate this. Before we change faction, we need to take off any of the items that we've got on that we've achieved from one of the other factions. So I'm at the moment in the Observatory of Circle of Fortune, and therefore I have to take off any of the gear that I got via Circle of Fortune. And you can see at the bottom here, it's got that little purple icon and a rank 6. So I've taken all this off, including the idols that are marked, and then I'm going to go to the Circle of Fortune here. Now, to leave the faction, we just click up here, make sure all our clothes are off. We will keep all of this rep, which is fantastic. We will lose all of the favor that we have, which is why I've spent all but 10. I can't get rid of that last 10, unfortunately. And I'm really hoping we keep all the prophecies, but we're going to find out that at the end of the video when I switch back to demonstrate the Circle of Fortune. So I'm going to leave this faction now, like so. And then I'm going to join the Bazaar, which is the Merchants Guild, to talk around the trading. So I am now in the Merchants Bazaar, the Trading Guild. And the first good thing about the Trading Guild is basically the fact that you can buy your meta gear and smash it together if you have the coin for it. Endgame, what you're going to be doing is going to the dungeon where you can make your legendary weapons. You're going to be buying your best uniques with loads of LP on them. You're going to be buying your best exalted, and you're going to be smashing them together to get the perfect legendary. And what the Bazaar allows you to do is to find those L3s, L4s that might never drop on solo self-found. However, there are some drawbacks to the Merchant's Bazaar. One of them being that whoever designed it clearly hated humanity. The idea of running to each of these individual icons to work out what item you want to sell is painful. No one wants to run around in games, except if you're killing monsters, and having to go find the boots guy to sell your boots, and then go back to your stash, or hopefully you've got it all in your thing, but then you run all the way over here and you're like, which one hand is it? Oh, is it the one-handed axe? No, it's the one-handed sword. Oh, where's that one? They're not next to each other. Oh, well, this one is next to each other, to be fair, but some of them are a bit random, okay? So that's the first thing I have an issue with. And I think the reason they did that is basically they wanted the Bazaar to feel live, see people running around. What I think they should have done is combine them down a little bit so you still had to run. So have a relic area, have maybe a two-handed area, have a body armor area. So you still had those areas, but you didn't individually split it so much. I don't know if that's a system limitation or is just to make the world feel a bit more alive. But in reality, most people don't give a damn. They just want to go to an auction house and be able to buy and sell. So on that, when you go to your salespeople, you can go here. And now the next part of the humanity hating part of the trade guild is this setup here. So the first thing you're going to do is go, I want to sell a particular thing. Unfortunately, you can only see in the front screen here the weapon you've got equipped, and it's very rare that I want to sell something I'm using. It baffles me why that would be the option. If I press I, it closes the window, which is again baffling. Okay, so we're going to go reopen it again. I'm going to have to look at this. Say I could sell this. I can't, but let's say I could. Actually, let's give a better example. Say this skull here. It's a nice skull. I might want to sell it. I'd have to go find the skull guy, basically the catalyst guy, to sell it. I'd have to memorize all of these stats or equip it so that I could see the thing when I go in. I then have to go in here. I have to then close the infantry because it's covering the screen. And I have to memorize these affixes to try and get an equivalent. So I'm going to have to go into the subtype and then select these bits. And then I'm actually going to have to go to more. I'm going to have to select the affixes that I've hopefully memorized to actually get a comparison of what I'm selling. Now, this just kills it for me. I love trade. I even like PoE trade. And PoE trade has its ups and downs. And this just made this basically unplayable for me. And I think that's such a real shame, because if they'd made a single auction house, if they'd made some of these selections easier, if you could have a side panel with your infantry, I think that would have been a lot better. I'm going to show you an example with a particular helmet that I need. It's for my druid. So I'm going to select Prime List. I'm just going to give an example how I would find this. So this is the Prime List item. I'm going to search here. It's not actually going to be here, so I'm going to have to go to the helmet, which is a really good demonstration of why Hate the fact it's split up because I can't just jump from one to another. And we're going to go to helmet. We're going to go to search. And we're going to... Search doesn't actually search, which is great. You've then got to go to here, and you've got to search for a name of an item. And I'm going to look for Scurry. So Scurry is the helmet that I'm going to potentially want to buy. Confirm here, and then I click search again. So we've got a load of helmets here for differing prices, which I could then buy. Now, LP4 is kind of what I'm looking for. Unfortunately, you can't search for LP4. You can only search for sort of cost and various other mechanics. So I'm just going to go down here, and I found like one of the main problems is people are selling these like end game rare helmets for 0 gold, but a load of favor. So that to me isn't great because I can't make any money. And the reason people are doing this, I believe, is because favor allows you to progress in your tree quicker. So to get more across here quicker, to be able to buy better stuff, you want favor. To do that, you want to make sales. To make sales, people are putting stuff at 0 coins, which is another problem with the trading guild. I have sold some items, so I'm going to go collect my winnings. So to collect your winnings here, you go back into here, you view your stall, and then you can basically sell this. Now, these are all pretty much junk items, to be honest. I just wanted to get a bit of favor, and I could sell them for a little bit of money. And I can just click here, look at my items, and be able to basically get the ones I've sold. I, again, can't see the other 5 items I've sold. Apparently, I might need to then go to the other people here to actually do that sales. So there's some problems with the trading guild. I think it's a real shame. I do think it is the meta in regards to being able to get the best end gear, because you can just go buy anything you want. As long as someone's found it, you can buy it. And that is such a powerful thing to have as a guild. Now, don't get me wrong. I think this has a lot of potential, but I do think they need to make a lot of changes to make this more user-friendly, more streamlined, and just overall better. Some of the things that you get as you level up sort of increase your ability to buy more stuff, but I personally think it's not very exciting. You're basically just gaining more quality of life as you go along, rather than gaining more things to do in the game, which is where it brings me to the Circle of Fortune, which we're going to jump to next. So I'm going to press Y here. I'm going to leave the faction again, and I'm going to go visit the observatory, like so. Now, the observatory, I think the solo self-found nature of the observatory has been so well made. And I'm surprised because I feel like the Circle of Fortune was created after the trading. I think trading, as far as I'm aware, was the first fort, and then Circle of Fortune kind of came in later. But I might be wrong on that. But however, I think this has been done so well. So basically, some of the good things about Circle of Fortune, if I basically go down here and rejoin the faction, and I'll answer that question of, do I keep my prophecies? Let's find out. I'm going to join the Circle of Fortune now. Yes. All of my prophecies, RIP, have been deleted, but I have gained 90 favor. I slightly want to cry right now, but you know what? It is what it is, right? There was a risk I was going to lose my prophecies. You do lose your prophecies. I have confirmed it here. I had a lot of prophecies. Doesn't matter though. What's important is that I've kept my rep, which is here. I've got all my rep. And the great thing about the Circle of Fortune is, as you level your rep, you gain so much more exciting stuff than you do in the trade guild. Instead of being able to buy extra stuff, more things happen, like higher level of affixes drop, rarer items drop, things that you really want. Legendary potential right now is more like is a great thing I've unlocked. T7 affixes is huge. You can get, you know, twice they're twice as common. Those things are exciting, but I think what I really think is great about the Circle of Fortune is this sort of prophecy mini game here, where you go here and you can basically select one of these, you spend your favor, and you buy a prophecy. And what these do is, I'll give you an example here. I have to kill a load of exiled mages, and in return, a load of unique helmets are going to drop. And I, as a lightning beastmaster for all my sins, are looking for the Scurry helmet to make a load of squirrels. Now, I already have one, but I might want to find one with more LP. And that is a great mini game. And I think Last Epoch missed a trick here. I think they could have implemented this exact same system in trade and have it work. Instead of having, you know, you keep the Circle of Fortune prophecies, but for the trade, you could call it like bounties or like merchant orders, where you go out and have to go get the order from slaying 7 beasts that that could carry it. And that way they both have the similar system. You could tweak it a little bit, but you still have something to do that's actually in the game that's adding value. And then you could do all the same stuff with the rest of the trade as you had before. And yes, you can maybe make it more favorable for the solo self-found to get more stuff. But to be honest, all this stuff on the tree of the solo self-found already will increase your odds of finding stuff. So I think it would have been a lot better to have a similar system in for the trading and make it more even, ignoring all the other things. So I think that's just a real whistle-stop tour. I think it's pretty obvious which I think's better, but I think there is a nuance to it. My opinion is the solo self-found, the Circle of Fortune, is way more enjoyable, way more fun. But I do think there's a place for trading. I think trading's going to get better when they fix those UIs. I think it's probably still is the meta because of the power of being able to buy the best item that you want. But I really think solo self-found is kind of the way to go for most people, in my opinion, just because it's more fun. It's got more things to do. And you feel more rewarding. Buying stuff from the trade right now feels painful, but it also, people are selling stuff for 0 coins, so you're not even making money in some cases. And you don't feel that sort of the difference, right? In ARPGs, I find a lot of the fun of PoE buying something is you've got so many different systems that is earning you items that you don't need that you can sell. In Last Epoch, there's very few endgame systems at the moment, so that really Monolith is getting you items, and you're pooling your money, and then you're just buying your best item, and that kind of just doesn't feel as good. I don't really know why that is, but I think it's just the lack of different ways of finding items right now makes that trade less enjoyable to make the money, in my opinion. But I do think it has a place. I do think all the blasters on Twitch are going to be using the trade to buy the best stuff. But for your casual user, I think at the moment the solo self-found is just more fun. It gets the job done. You're going to find probably your LP3s, maybe not your LP4s, but for a cycle, I think that's fine. I think going forward, trade will still have a place, and I think it's going to get better and better, and it's probably going to start to take an edge. I imagine they're going to do a load of fixes to this, as I'm sure I've not really looked at any other videos, but I'm sure people are going to be having some backlash around how you go into that. If you look at another game like World of Warcraft, where you go into the auction house, you see the cost of the average cost of your item. You can sort of work out roughly how much it's worth. Last Epoch doesn't have a third party that kind of shows you the average value of it at the moment, and because of the way Last Epoch works with items and getting LP and stuff like that, it'll be pretty hard to do that third party even if they wanted to. So I do think will be getting better, but I'm not quite sure how long it's going to take for them to get it into that point. If you want to be a blaster, go for it. If you just want to have a really good time, I'd say Circle of Fortune. And that's it in a nutshell. So hopefully this has been helpful. If you have any questions, just shout in the chat. I know it's a bit of a whistle-stop tour, but if you want me to go into more depth on any of the factions, do let me know. I know you've been listening to a guy with the beard of a prepubescent child, but if you have enjoyed this, please chuck us a like and a subscribe. I've actually managed to say that properly for once. And until then, I will catch you next time. Thanks. See you later.